that was a compendium of works that I put together just before I left the university, 2000. And I constructed a replica of the studio, but they're all 8-channel works. This is before the multi-channel instrument was built. Well, beyond 8. And I converted a lecture theatre that had no fixed seating into a listening space with black drapes, with speakers on the outside and video projection on the inside, and a block of 9 seats that people could come and then put together a program of 8 works that were concerned with the male line of my family. My grandfather works about him and me, works about me and my father, works about me and my sons. A work called The Quarter, which is about visiting Ireland, going back to the place where my grandfather was born. A work called Sleep Exposure, which is about a dream concerning my grandfather. A work called Rehab, which is about my father's workshop, and all the sounds in it are made from his tools that he used. Another work called The Necessity of Consolation, which is about childhood memories of family holidays. And then the last work of the series is Birth Circle, which it takes the family thing out into a global environment where I talk to lots and lots of people about their early childhood memories, their understanding of their own birth, about 15 different languages. They speak in their own language, and then they give a translation in whatever English they have, and that was the beginning actually of the 8-channel system, the work I was talking about previously. Yeah, they were just put on. All the works were played through a day. I don't know how many times, twice I think, and then the whole thing was repeated for about 3 weeks, and people would book and come and listen. Yeah. So that was a sort of a retrospective of works which were already extant, but which I could see all pointed towards the one concern, but from a different angle. Yeah, sort of bisecting a particular target. And since then, many other works have been made that concern the family too, and still are being made. In fact, my mother died nearly 3 years ago, so there's been work that's been made since then concerning that. But also there are other works concerning the earthquake. An interview with an ex-music student of mine who was in the CTV building and survived. There's a documentary work about her experience. There's this work about Argentina. There are various other works about visits to Russia. There are works that don't actually involve family. You know, that there are more outward. But I don't really have any control over which is which, and I certainly can't respond to a commission. You know, just recently the Oracle Gallery here in Christchurch, which is they've got a multi-channel ambisonic system there, and so they asked me to make a work, and I visited the space, but it's certainly not satisfactory for transmitting these works. And I realised I just either couldn't or wasn't prepared to spend the time generating something for that space. I'd much rather spend the available time making the next work here. So I've never been very good at responding to requests from outside, you know, and particularly if they've got strings attached, you know, I want it to do this, like film music and stuff like that. I used to do that a long time ago, but pretty unsuccessfully actually. Not very good at that. I don't know how we would go about documenting or making any sense of the repertoire that's been generated over the last 5 years or so, because they're all multi-channel works.
Sure.
Some use images, some don't. They're all have a particular topic, and they're all documented. I don't know whether you can you see this? Every time I make a work, and this is purely archival really, I take the program, and these are all programs, and at the back of the program there's a stereo reduction of the work. And I also got into the habit of making documentaries about the making of the work. So I keep a workbook and I write in it all sorts of stuff, difficulties, obstacles, blah, 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 things that happen that turn out to be useful. And then when I finish the work, I've done this for the last 4 or 5 works, I record verbally all the workbook entries, and then I put them into sections of the extant work. And actually, it's quite interesting. So that in these programs, often there'll be 2 CDs. There'll be the documentary CD, and with the commentary and so forth, and then the actual work itself. So there's stereo versions of all the works here, but it does say, when this is for some poor archivist, the compact discs attached to these programs are for information only. They should never be used in public performance. But I know what will happen. I'll get stuck in an archive somewhere, and somebody will come along and they'll put headphones on, and they'll sit down and they'll listen to them, and that'll be the only version of the work they ever hear, all filled with artifacts and crap and God knows what. And they'll hear it binaurally on bits of them, because they're doing some sort of a research project. And that'll be that. But I suppose Rembrandt would have said the same thing. You know, very few people are going to see this painting. They're just going to see some crappy bloody reproduction in a book somewhere. In low light, you know. So I don't know, you know. But the interesting thing is, I've gone to the trouble of doing this.
Yep.
Now there must be a reason why, you know, because I know that eventually this won't exist. I don't even know whether the multi-channel data will exist in the end. It probably will somewhere, but it'll probably just sit on the shelf now. We'll give it a second thought, you know. So, but this is more accessible. And so probably, you know, and somebody someday might just say, oh, well, let's give a concert of some of these works, and they'll just take these and they'll play them. They won't give a shit, you know. So they do exist. So, but as Colleen says, I'm just a frantic documenter. I just write everything down. There are those blue volumes. They're all hard copies of my workbook notes going back to 2003. It's all data in the computer too, but they're also printed. And I don't know, I sort of just see it as basic, fundamental data that somebody could get their teeth into sometime, and they'd get a really good understanding of the real reality of this decision to just allow and just relax and just let things happen. But there's all sorts of professional concerns expressed there, lots and lots of detailed thought about how sound works and so forth within this environment, but also lots and lots of other broader material. I mean, it's an absolute gold mine for a PhD student. I mean, that's what I think. And it's got nothing to do with how important it is or anything. It's just that it is genuine material that's been thought about and exists, you know. It's not going to die when my brain melts. What was that about?